movies!
Rachel, the way I see it, we can do whatever we want.
Hey guys, so we went and saw Venom, and starring Tom Hardy.
I was going to say Matt Hardy, but I was like, that's not right. It's Tom Hardy, who also played Bane.
So what'd you love about the movie?
I thought the score was good in the movie. Then Tom Hardy's performance was pretty solid. I wouldn't put it up there with his Bane performance, but he's a good actor. Mm-hmm. Nothing about the movie, for the most part, looked bad. Like, there were a lot of action sequences. We had the opening spaceship scene. Do you remember in the Predator movie? We're like, ugh. But this was not like that. They put a lot of money into this movie, and those are the things I liked about it.
Yeah, so for me, I thought it was a really good, production.
Yeah.
From start to end. I guess the graphics with Venom, for the most part, I
pretty
liked
solid.
it.
And I know Venom from when I was a kid. I collected Spider-Man, and Venom was created by Todd McFarlane, one of my favorite artists and creators in the Spider-Man universe. So Venom was a big deal when I was a kid.
Okay.
Because he was pretty new and because he's pretty awesome. And yeah, so it seemed to me, I was like, yeah, this is Venom.
Okay. So...
Kind of. We'll get into that.
Let's get just a real quick, what were some things you didn't like? We'll get into more later, but
so,
what did you not like about the movie?
The movie devolved into something that it wasn't originally when it started. It seemed complex and adultish.
Yeah.
And intriguing, and then before I knew it, it was kind of slapsticky and ludicrous.
Yeah. So for me, I noticed a big change. I'm gonna make a guess that it was 3/4 of the way through the movie, where all of a sudden I was like, did a 14-year-old boy finish the script? Because it just changed, and then all the motivations behind the characters also changed. And it just did a complete 180. And I was like, what? And because I knew that this movie wasn't critically acclaimed.
And we also knew it wasn't part of the good Marvel universe. It was Marvel, but it was Sony. So
I was kind of disappointed because when I saw the first teaser trailer for this, I was really excited.
Great teaser.
And then, but as it got closer to the movie, I was like, oh, people don't think this movie's going to be very good. And then the movie started. I was there viewing it, and I was like, you know what? I like it.
Yeah, that's true.
And then it all of a sudden, and it was a hard turn.
Oh.
Right? You were like, oh.
What happened?
So yeah. So what do you say, Kelsey? Go, wait, or skip?
I love Spider-Man. He's one of my favorite characters. I love Venom as a villain in the Spider-Man universe. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna tell you to skip this movie. Skip it.
Yeah. So for me, last night on the way home, I was thinking, what would I say? Go was completely out. I'm not going to tell you that.
There's just no reason to see it.
I think I'm going to say skip it too. And we're people that go and see all these superhero movies.
I want to say to...
But there's no reason to see this movie.
No
it's just really disappointing.
Yeah.
So, spoilers.
Spoilers.
Let's kind of get into, we're going to get into why we didn't like the movie. And my primary thing right off the top was that when the movie started, I was kind of excited to see a movie where the villain was the main focus and that we could really get into some of the darkness and complexity of the villain.
Because that's what Venom is.
Evil, in him being a villain. And then when I said it took a hard turn, it was all of a sudden Venom went from wanting to kill everybody, including his host, the character played by Tom Hardy, to I'm here, let's work together, I'm not going to kill you anymore, and
let's protect the planet.
We're going to save Earth.
He became Captain Planet.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
So Venom is a good guy?
Yeah, and then for me, again, I think 2/3 through the movie, I was like, this movie's cool. And then it just got outlandish and ridiculous. And like you said, all of a sudden Venom was Captain Planet. And then for me, I felt if they could take the first 2/3 of the movie and then a different end of the movie And like we didn't need any other symbiotes in the movie. I think that Venom should have just been Venom.
Yeah, so there was Venom, and then there was Riot, and then
they pulled in all of them. And like when we first got Venom in the comic universe, we just had Venom. We didn't have all this other crap that came later. Like you didn't need to do all that. You could have just had Venom, and even set up a potential crossover, which should have happened and should happen with Spider-Man, because Spider-Man is Venom's enemy.
But now I don't even understand how that could happen, because apparently Venom is a good guy now.
Except that he eats people when he shouldn't. Anyway.
Oh, well, because then you have this whole thing of like, well, you can eat bad people. And apparently bad people are whoever Tom Hardy's character decides are bad.
Yeah.
And so that is like a whole nother thing that like...
That's another topic.
Yes.
That we disagree with. Because it's wrong. Because it is wrong.
But it's just like... It was just so disappointing.
Disappointing.
Because it could have been... just this really interesting take on a villain. Yeah. Just a villain alone. I mean, because we wouldn't have had a hero in this movie.
Even like it was dealing like, yeah, this was an alien form or whatever, but also it was kind of like echoing some of the things people experience when they have psychosis or they're schizophrenic. And they hear, like there was so much that it seemed like this movie was on its way to doing, and then again. Some
it's like they ran out of time.
14-year-old randomly walked into the stage and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna do the rest of this movie." Yeah, and then even like, yeah, it was just bad. It was like, honestly, I was like, this movie's pretty good. I'm enjoying it. The Rotten Tomatoes must be wrong. I felt that way for a long time.
Yeah.
And then I was like, nope, this movie's awful.
Well, and then you even got like more Venom during the last like quarter of the movie, and for me, that's where the graphics for this character
kind of fell off.
Got like where I was like, why does he look?
Well, and even when he was
fighting
the other, this is just dumb, and this is it's not what we want, you know.
No, yeah. The other thing that I'm just kind of tired of in movies is that we had another villain in the movie, the like initial villain that brought this Venom to our planet, who was crazy, right? Well, I'm tired of those villains. Their reasoning being resources and population control. Like that we're going to overpopulate the earth and that we don't have enough resources because human beings are destroying the earth, and I'm tired of that being the motivation behind the villain. Give me something new, because I just keep hearing that same thing over and over again. And
write some shit.
Like it's not new, it's not fresh, it's just like whatever. And it also, because nobody else in the movie says anything different. They all say it's wrong. They're like, well, you shouldn't do that. Yeah. But they don't have any reasons for it. Like, for example, overpopulation is a myth. Second, or you can look that up. That's what I believe. It's a myth. Secondarily, what about all the contributions that humans have done? Like, I look around and in my daily life, I am mostly met with love and like people doing good things out in the world. These things are never brought up. It's just like, well, we can't actually kill whoever we want, or, come up with a new human symbiote mashup and live in space. That's ridiculous, villain. But yeah, we gotta do something about population control. I always feel like that's the sentiment, that our heroes don't have any answer for this. Not to mention I'm just bored by it.
I also think there's something to be said. If you're a movie maker, and you probably are coming to here to get our expert opinions, but you know what made the Joker so great in The Dark Knight? You didn't know why he was crazy. Yeah. And it didn't matter. He was just crazy.
That's why he's so great.
Yeah, I don't need to know the person's backstory. I actually don't want to know. It's okay for crazy people to just be crazy.
Well, I just wanted, let's go down into the depths of being maybe insane or evil or something. It was the same thing I wanted in the Avengers Infinity War. I didn't want...
oh, yeah. Same thing. Population control.
Yeah, I didn't want
the vast universe that's, sparsely populated.
Because, what I was told was that, he fell in love with death, and then he was obsessed with death, and I was like, oh, that would be fascinating to awesome. Explore. But no,
it's lazy movie making with a tinge of propaganda.
Right,
which they like
pushing
to
like
do.
an agenda.
Just fine. If you want to push your agenda, just do it in a way that the story is good.
Creative
I don't care.
and
I don't
good.
care. Like,
Yeah.
your opinion doesn't, it's just your opinion.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was really excited about Venom, so much so that Venom and Star is Born came out the same day, and I was kind of like sad that I was the movie ticket martyr. I was like, we will go see A Star is Born for my wife, and I will martyr myself like Jesus. I was like Jesus on the cross, not being able to go see Venom, but then I was like, man, I'm glad we didn't go see that the other day. You know what I mean? Like, this is not a good movie.
Yeah.
So disappointing.
Yeah.
They did set up the end to like make a sequel. I'm good on Venom movies. Don't make a Venom movie. If you want Venom in a movie, you're gonna have to work out a deal with the people that make the good Marvel movies and send them over there. You can bring Tom Hardy with you if you'd like, but you guys, you don't know what you're doing. You've shown that by destroying what once was the most popular movie franchise for Marvel, which was X-Men. You've already destroyed that. You keep re-destroying it.
I know.
And I just want to thank sweet baby Jesus and the universe and whoever else for allowing whatever had to happen on the back for Sony to work out a deal so that we could take Marvel's
Spider-Man.
greatest property, Spider-Man, and put him in the good universe. Thank you, Jesus, for that. So angry!
All right.
And yeah, that was some real talk about Rachelsey movies.